you absolutely need to lose weight. But if you're already 15% body fat, losing weight is for vanity. It is for aesthetics.
This channel is going to be about aesthetics, okay? I don't care what they talking about. This channel about aesthetics and nutrition. I think aesthetics are incredible. And if you aspire to have a 10% body fat percentage, go for it, dude.
Hey, I'm putting the pro back in program, baby. Buy my freaking program. Fitness guy. Hey.
What's up? AJ the Fitness Guy. And today we are doing a review of a video from Geoffrey Verity Schofield called 15% Body Fat is the New 10%. So I'm just gonna take a look at this video and see what his thoughts are, what his preferences are on body fat percentage levels, and just sort of give my take on it. I really like Geoffrey Verity Schofield. He has got a great YouTube channel. There's a lot of good stuff on there. He's a natural bodybuilder, at least to my knowledge. And of course I am as well. And there may be some things that you guys like, take away, or agree with me on that ultimately lead to helping you maybe better in some sort of way, rearranging the way that you look at the whole fitness thing in general. So it may be beneficial, so I'm going to do the video.
And I'm just going to come right out and say it. For the vast majority of people, the overwhelmingly vast majority of people, 10% body fat is not a reasonable goal. It is not a good thing to try to aspire to.
My issue with this train of thought, that it's not worth it, it's not something to aspire to, I feel like, hey man, that's really opinionated. I'm just speaking in terms of thinking from an aspect as coming from somewhere, right? So when you initially start and you don't know what the hell you're doing, for someone to tell you, hey, it's really not something you should aspire to because very few people ever get there, can kind of be down-putting. And you don't know for sure that that's not something that that person will be able to do or obtain or reach in those sort of levels. Help them understand what matters more first, like the nutrition. So the nutrition is really what matters more than the body fat percentage, because without it, you'll never get to those levels anyway. And you certainly won't do it in a healthy way. The trick, I think the key, is understanding the modalities that you're in, aesthetics or strength, and then understanding what you need to do in the adjustments to your diet to reach those modalities, and then dip even further into them so you can create a positive adaptation to whatever stress you're applying on your body, you know, whatever specific adaptation to the imposed demands that you're looking for at that specific time.
And I'm just going to come right out and say it. For the vast majority of people, the overwhelmingly vast majority of people, 10% body fat is not a reasonable goal. It is not a good thing to try to aspire to. From a risk to reward or cost-benefit analysis perspective, it's just not worth it.
10% body fat is definitely obtainable, and it's not unhealthy to want abs. It's not unhealthy to want to see the work that you put into your core section. You know, it's not unhealthy to desire those things, and it's very doable, but you need to listen to your hormones. Okay, when people say listen to your body, listen to your body, listen to your body. What they're really saying is listen to your hormones, right? Listen to the signals of the hormones: fatigue, low sex drive, lack of energy, hunger. Listen to those things because they're telling you something, right?
I'm a coach as well, and we've both noticed that a lot of guys will feel fine at 15%, pretty much fine at 12%, but the closer they go to 10% or under, the shittier they will feel. And this is pretty much across the board. There's a few people who are exceptions, but for...
This dude hit the booty flex. I mean, look, man, when you get ripped, you might want to hit it. I got one of those on my Instagram. And by the way, you guys go follow my Instagram, AJ the Fitness Guy. I got a lot of great content on there, a lot of really cool lifts, heavy lifts, man.
You have guys like Athlete X who say that the 5 to 10% zone is the athletic zone, which is just complete bullshit, okay? No one is 5% body fat and feels athletic.
I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with that. If you are 5 to 6, 7% body fat, 4% body fat, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be stronger than when you're at 10% or 12% body fat, 13, 14, 15% body fat. So you really can't feel better, because the stronger you are, the better you feel normally, typically. And when you lose strength, you get weaker. So that's a negative adaptation. That's not a positive adaptation. But that doesn't mean that 10% body fat is unhealthy for anyone, nor do I think we should set the premise or the stage to tell people that that particular body fat percentage is unhealthy or unobtainable, or they shouldn't focus on that.
A lot of people don't realize how lean 10% body fat is. It is very, very lean. It's not like, oh, you kind of have abs in the right lighting. No, it's like you're fucking carved out of cedar wood, vascularity everywhere, fully defined six-pack even when you're not flexing. And for the vast majority of people, it's just not going to happen, or it's just not going to happen without having to sacrifice the majority of the happiness in your life.
I really want you guys to go for whatever your goals are, but understand everything in tandem and understand everything synergistically, so that when people are telling you this can't be done or this can't be done or that can't be done, you understand how to regulate your body and your hormones so that you can self-auto-regulate your aspirations.
Is having a six-pack really that important to you? Why? Usually it's because people have consumed too much fitness content, they have body dysmorphia, and they're putting these abs on a pedestal.
Are abs that important to you, and why? And then he references that some people are putting abs on a pedestal and they consume too much fitness, rhetoric and things like that. And I can agree with a lot of that. And I know a lot of people do kind of have a skewed view as to who's natty. That's why you see all these natty or nots. They don't know who's natty anymore. You got natty saying that they're natty and they're really not natty. And bro, we know you're not natty, okay? Like, to say why, I mean, because if you are fond of the modality of aesthetics, you may want to acquire the pinnacle, or at least reach for the pinnacle of that modality. That may be why you want the abs, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so I think premising that that is a negative thing is an aspiration killer to somebody who may achieve that and can do it in a healthy way if they understand how the hormones are working in the body and what the body needs to keep the body running sufficiently and safely. I mean, 10% body fat, yeah, it's going to look lean, it's going to look amazing, but it is by no means anything like 6% body fat or 5% or 4%, which is what, he's talking about in this video, and dip into those levels. It's not even remotely in the same stratosphere. People think that 10% body fat, 11%, 12%, 13% body fat is this unbelievable, unattainable level of low body fat percentage. In reality, it's not. It's not. Most of the celebrities and icons in music, moguls walk around between 10 to 15% body fat. And they just access that modality in terms of their aesthetics through intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting. And that's the key to the modality of aesthetics, is insulin control. That is the key to aesthetics modality. It may not be the key necessarily for the strength modality, but it is the key for the aesthetic modality. 10% doesn't take a whole lot of a commitment to achieve in that modality. It takes considerably more than 15% or 20%, but when you get there, you're starting to get close to it, and it's working on a week-to-week basis, and you've made the adjustments to continue to linearly move up in that modality, then you become aware mentally that it really actually was not that difficult to get to those body fat percentage levels. And in my opinion, in the strength modality, it's a little more difficult to gain the strength because you can cut down and lose body fat in a matter of months, but it takes it takes a while to get strong on the compound list.
It's very low calorie foods.
You're going to have to just load up on fiber and protein and caffeine. And a lot of people have issues with this, do a ton of cardio. Like, the heart is the most important muscle, so I do 2 hours of cardio a day. Maybe you're doing that just to maintain too lean of a physique.
He's saying that you're going to have to load up on fiber, caffeine, that kind of stuff. I guess I'm assuming that he's saying that's how you're going to have to eat regularly to maintain 10% body fat level. And that's not actually true, man. The thing about this is understanding nutrition and understanding what the modality of weight loss and aesthetics really is, which once again is to control your insulin level, which is why you have people having success, like people like Joe Rogan and other celebrities, on diets like the carnivore diet, because what are they doing? They're eating more proteins and more fats and less fiber. They're having less things like fiber rich, and if they're getting fiber, it's coming from their vegetables. So the satiety factor is really coming from the proteins and the fats, right? Not from the carbohydrates. So no, you don't have to load up on fiber to feel satiated, to be able to keep your caloric restriction down to a certain level. You really could eat as much carbs as you wanted if you were doing prolonged fasting and intermittent fasting. See, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. The setup and premise of this thought process is a little closed-minded.
And a lot of people are just really, really bad at assessing their own body fat percentages. People will think they are 12% when they are more like 18 or even more like 22. Okay, I've had some people send me pictures. They're like, I'm like 12%, 11%. No, like, you have the upper abs kind of, but they're covered in chub and you have no definition or vascularity anywhere. And like, clearly a bit of a belly, probably like a 38-inch waist. You have upper abs, but you are well into the 20s. And they're like, no, if I lost 10 pounds, I'd be shredded. Go. Try and see.
Okay, about the abs, I like this picture that he put up here. This is hilarious. You lose weight from the face down. A lot of guys, they lose it in the face, they lose it in the back, as they lose in the weight, and upper abs start to reveal first and then lower abs. And, me coming all the way from a 40 body fat percentage level, good gracious. I was over about 300 pounds or so, down to where I'm at now, which is like 214. You start to notice how the fat sort of comes off your body and where you genetically are dispositioned to hold it in different places more than others, and what that looks like at different body fat levels for you. So yeah, it can be kind of tricky, because if you're overweight and you're coming down in weight and you're switching the modality from strength to aesthetics modality, you may not really be aware of what it looks like.
Honestly, if a client comes to me and they're like, my target is 15%, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. It doesn't matter if they're 25% to 30%. That is a very, very reasonable target. That same person, they say, hey, I want to be 10%. I try to talk them out of it. Honestly, I do. Or I say, okay, let's first get to 15%, see if we can maintain it, see how you feel, and then maybe push to 10% or towards 10% if you feel good. But most people, and Abel mentioned this, they'll get down to around 12 to 13%, things will slow, hunger will go up, they won't feel as good, and then they'll say, hey, should I keep going? No, why? Why would you keep going just to get more defined abs? Just to get like those bicep veins that like cross over your arm instead of just the big one? No, it's not worth it.
Okay, so he says, if someone wants to get to 10%, I try to talk them out of it. Or if not, then I say, let's get to 15%, and then let's see how you do. And I think that's a better approach, but I think I wouldn't try to talk them out of it, because that may be an aspiration that they may actually be able to meet and make. And I think that could maybe make them feel like it's not possible. I don't necessarily agree with just coming right off the bat and telling someone that. And I wouldn't say that it's a positive thing to do, because for other reasons discussed. But I do agree, you can say, hey, 15% and then go down to 10%. But honestly, 10% is not really that shredded. It doesn't really require as much dedication, and there's certainly not as much hormonal risks, so to say, such as low libido, decreased strength, which is a sure tell sign of negative adaptation, and higher cortisol and stuff, as 6%, as 5%, as 4%. It is very obtainable and very doable for a vast majority of people. And I think in order to do it safely, correctly, and in a healthy way, you need to understand nutrition.
And so the average dude in America is 28% body fat. That is a problem. That means that you should absolutely try to reduce your body fat percentage. And some people are 30, 40, 50. I work with people who are over 60% body fat. In that case, yeah, you absolutely need to lose weight. But if you're already 15% body fat, losing weight is for vanity. It is for aesthetics. It is not for health. And anyone who tells you that you're going to be healthier, leaner than 15%, they're just full of shit.
You absolutely can be healthier, leaner than 15%. I mean, damn, I'm almost leaner than 15% now. I think I'm 14% at this point. 12 to 18% is a great range to be in for anybody, like literally. I mean, do you have to be at 10%? No. Is that necessarily unhealthy? Absolutely not. There's nothing unhealthy about wanting to get to that level or even getting to that level as long as your hormones are responding good, right? All right, so this is a big one here. In a healthy way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And if someone thinks that it's vain for you to try to achieve a certain goal that you have, so the hell what? I mean, let them think that. I mean, what does that matter? As long as you're doing it in a healthy way and giving your body the things that it needs, that it really needs to function properly, and you're not using other substances that are unnatural. Because if we do it naturally, it can be sustainable.
Like maybe your insulin sensitivity improves slightly, but then there are also trade-offs in terms of leptin, in terms of testosterone, in terms of estrogen, which is also important even for men. So there are trade-offs when you go too high or too low in body fat percentage, and that 12 to 18% range, maybe up to 20, maybe even into the low 20s, is a completely fine range, especially if you're active and you are otherwise healthy and you have muscle mass and you're lifting weights and your diet is healthy.
Maybe your insulin levels will improve slightly. They will improve greatly. During a fast, right, which is one of my favorite ways, during a fast, your human growth hormone is elevated after a certain period, typically past 24 hours into the 36 hours or even 48 hours, anywhere from 200 to 500% human growth hormone, which is something you need to retain muscle mass. So anyone who tells you that fasting is going to be catabolic, they just don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's absolutely not catabolic at all. What you need to understand is that there are modalities for achieving different aesthetic or strength related goals. And you need to understand everything that goes along with those modalities on the nutrition side, once again, and on the training side to get the desired outcome that you're looking for.
And most people that I see who are under 11% body fat, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, they are in the fitness industry or they consume a lot of fitness content and they feel inadequate if they are higher and they let their abs go, they let the shreds go. That is body dysmorphia.
If you aspire to get the aesthetic look of having the defined abs, the defined core, and that was one of the goals you had when you set out on your journey, and you busted your ass in the gym every week, every day, with your nutrition, you learn the ins and outs of basic nutrition and even advanced nutrition, maybe delved into ketosis and other things to really understand insulin resistance and how to manipulate your body in an aesthetic way. And you stayed away from the pharmaceuticals and the drugs and SARMs and the TRT, HRT and the Dianabol and all of those things that these guys are using to enhance their fitness journey. Then you are doing everything you can do to achieve that goal you had.
And there are a lot of people who should get fatter. they should get fatter. I know to some people they think, oh, fatter, oh, fat, oh, no, fat. They're fat phobic. They are literally fat phobic, but that might actually be what is best for these people.
And I do agree with that. I do think that getting a little bit fatter can help. You need the bulk and you need the cut, and you really can't do them both at the same time. But if you have an excess of body fat on your body, meaning stored energy, which is stored fat in your system, then when you are cutting, it is possible for you to gain muscle and strength while you are cutting. Whereas someone who's on the lower end may not be able to do that. Yeah, so I mean, those are my thoughts. Just some food for thought, man. I mean, I can't really say that I've been training as long as Geoffrey, but what I can say is that at this point, I've almost lost 100 pounds, and I've gained massive amounts of strength through the process in the modality of the strength training, in that particular modality. And then I switched over to the modality of the aesthetics and more of the weight loss modality now. And within trying to master that modality, I've learned a lot of different things, and it's kind of allowed me to take a look at things that people are saying about fitness and what's difficult, what's not difficult, and kind of break it down a little differently and think about it a little differently. 10% body fat is definitely obtainable, and it's not unhealthy to want abs. It's not unhealthy to want to see the work that you put into your core section. You know, it's not unhealthy to desire those things, and it's very doable, but you need to listen to your hormones. Okay, when people say listen to your body, listen to your body, listen to your body, what they're really saying is listen to your hormones, right? Listen to the signals of the hormones: fatigue, low sex drive, lack of energy, hunger. Listen to those things because they're telling you something, right? I'm AJ the Fitness Guy, new to the space, man, and I appreciate it if you leave me a like, man. Comment on the video. Let me know, do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Geoffrey? Dude, I gotta come up with some kind of an ending or something when I'm coming out of these videos. Like, I literally don't have one, so I don't know. I'm just gonna turn this thing off.
Hey, I'm putting the pro back in program, baby. Buy my freaking program. Fitness guy. Hey.